Welcome back, everybody. It's been an interesting week once again. A lot of things happening.
As always.
A lot of things going on. By the way, big shout out right now. I don't know if you watched any. We talked about it a little bit. XFL started this week.
It did.
XFL 2.0.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of it. I've been checking scores as they've been coming along, but didn't get to watch any of it. But then again, I mean, that's not saying a lot to me. I figured, like I said, told you yesterday, whatever. It's probably going to be a lot like the NFL to me. That until the playoffs or big games, I'm probably not going to sit down and watch a full game. But I'm going to check every single box score and see how people did. There's a lot of guys that I remember in college. A lot of guys at OU that that I really liked at OU that I'm interested to see how they're doing.
I watched the first game, a pretty good chunk of it. The DC Defenders.
Was the Cardell game?
Yeah, Cardell Jones played pretty well. But the most interesting, and I saw some good. I think it was Tiamu, who was I think he was the Ole Miss quarterback.
Yeah.
Recently,
he played at Ole Miss.
Yeah, he was playing, looked really good. Our boy, Ryan's boy, Matt McGloin, he was playing today.
Oh, really? I didn't know he was.
Yeah, had some pretty good passes. Granted, it's all substandard. Competition.
Well, I mean, I think that's.
I mean, sub NFL.
Yeah, I mean, sub NFL.
You know, these are guys who are trying
to
make it on an NFL team.
Right. That doesn't mean these guys aren't stupid talented. They'd still.
No, of course not.
I mean,
they definitely are.
So I mean, if like the top 5% go to the NFL, maybe, of college.
No, it's like 1%.
Okay, well, yeah, the top 1%. So this is from 2
like
to 5%.
2 to 3.
Yeah. I mean, that's still some pretty damn good players. I mean, the guys from OU. I mean, Landry Jones holds about every freaking passing record there is at OU.
I remember talking about Landry Jones with you when he was still at OU when we were deployed, and I didn't go back and look at his numbers until recently. Dude was a monster.
Right. Yeah, and the thing was, he was a monster. He didn't throw the deep ball well, but I remember. He wasn't. So the problem was OU got spoiled because OU had Josh Heupel, then we had Jason White, we had Sam Bradford, we had some very good quarterbacks, and then we had Landry. And I remember specifically, especially talking with my dad, that people were like, because Landry was around for a while. The main reason they had so many high things because he played for 4 years. But
even then, you could play 4 years and not have those numbers.
Oh yeah, he's had.
And I know the system has something to do with it, but at the same time,
you still got to perform.
It's still impressive,
right? And I remember at the end of my senior year, of Landry's senior year. Sorry, my dad, and a lot of other people were like, "Oh, I'm ready for Landry to move on. I'm ready for Landry to move on." And I remember specifically telling him, like, "Be careful what you wish for. Like, you don't realize how good we have it right now."
Yeah.
And then here, like, the next 2 years was the Trevor Knight, Blake
Trevor
Bell.
Knight.
Like
I loved Blake Bell because you knew what he was doing and you can't stop him.
Yeah, but it was,
the Belldozer.
Yeah, I mean, we had 2 years before. I mean, Baker showed up, and it was kind of like.
Yep.
I remember at the middle of the next year. What was it, Jim? We were in Vegas. No, we were in Phoenix for Ryan's bachelor party.
Yep.
And we were watching the OU game, and they're going back and forth between Trevor Knight and Blake Bell, and we were all just watching like, God, this is awful.
It was bad.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
And I remember specifically sitting there and asking would you like Landry Jones back now? And everybody was like, yes, we would die for Landry Jones back.
Yeah.
But just not him. I mean, there's a lot of other, like Jeff Bidet. He was a Kentucky transfer. He's a speed demon. So yeah, there's Keith Ford for OU. There's a bunch of good running backs and good players for OU, and I mean, I remember there's a bunch from Ohio State I saw in there. Obviously, 12 Gauge.
Yep. Cardale, Ryan Grant, DB had some pretty good hits. Tracy Sprinkle. It was funny that all three of them are on the DC Defenders.
Well, yeah, it seems like every OU person is with Bob Stoops.
Is on Dallas with Bob Stoops. Yeah,
right. It's like shocker.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
yeah, it wasn't bad. So they had, they got some different rules. Contrary to the NFL, inside the 2-minute drill, the clock stops on every play until the ball is.
It goes like to college.
Yeah, kind of. It's not necessarily just on first downs. It's on every play. The clock stops until the ball is spotted. The kickoff, which is actually really interesting, instead of just completely getting rid of the kickoff, each team stands about 10 yards apart on the opposite side of the kicker. I think it's the the 30 and the 40. Kicker kicks the ball, and then the two teams, the blocking team and the team that's trying to, get the return man, can't move until the guy catches the ball. But the ball has to go beyond the 20.
Interesting.
Otherwise, and if it doesn't go to the opposite 20, the ball automatically starts on the 45.
Huh.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. The PAT is really interesting. You've got three options.
I saw that
the one. You can go for 1. It's like 1 yard out. Then you can go for 2. That's like 3 yards out. And then you go for 3. It's like 5 or 6 yards out.
I think the 3 is from 10.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's like
and,
one.
And I thought that was really interesting because, it's like one of those things where it just gives different options for scoring. I thought it was really interesting. So
it is interesting. It's just a little different from football.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be interested, and I think I saw somewhere that Vince McMahon is scheduled to lose. It was something like $15 million in the first 3 years, and he's fully prepared to do that. And he's hoping.
Yeah, he's putting his own money into it. He's definitely investing. He's trying to. He's betting on himself, betting on the league to be successful. The thing that is interesting, he has no hand in it. He's just fronting the money.
Right.
And
unlike last time,
is actually running the whole thing.
Right. Unlike last time, he tried to run it and turn it into the WWE.
Yeah.
Show.
I think. Yeah. If they don't get too big for their own good, if they're able to manage their money well, which you're going to have guys that definitely want to play, so they're not going to be asking for a whole lot of money, because the guys that want a whole lot of money, they could probably go play in the NFL, right?
Well, right. And one of the things that, and I was going to get in this rant, but I'll talk about it now. You mean, if you look at every sport, pretty much, no, I mean, actually everyone. The NBA's got the developmental league. Baseball's got AAA, AA, single A. All that.
Yep.
Major League Soccer's got different levels.
Yeah, they have the club teams, the under 18 teams. Yeah.
Every sport has a developmental league, and except for football. And granted, this is not a developmental league, but I don't see why it couldn't. Because there are a lot of if you think about it, Tom Brady was drafted was it last pick, second last pick?
He was 7th round. He was in the 200s.
Yeah, I mean, if the Patriots wouldn't have drafted him, we would never have known about Tom Brady, because he never would have made a team.
Yeah,
because there's no developmental league. If there was a developmental league, he would have gone in there, played, and possibly torn it up, and then now we know who Tom Brady is. But there could have been a lot of people out there that were damn good football players that we just don't know about. And we never had a chance to learn about them. And what I think is going to be very interesting, with this, is because a lot of these other ones, these club teams, obviously AAA and the developmental league, they're linked to pro teams. With the XFL, it's kind of if it works, it's going to be a developmental league, but they're not linked to teams. So literally, if you come in and do well, it's where do you want to sign? You're not committed to a team, so you're not going to get drafted, but you get picked up in free agency, and you can go play anywhere.
Yeah,
I
did hear somewhere that the league, Oliver Luck, is very much okay that if a team comes calling to a guy to say, hey, you're going to come work out with us, you can't play in the XFL anymore, they're like, yeah, go for it. That's exactly why we're here.
Yeah, I did see that. They are very much going to let them out of their contracts and say, yeah, go play in the NFL.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, which they should do.
I really dig that. I think it's got an opportunity to have some type of success. It's not going to be a replacement for the NFL, and I think they know that. So I think that this is my hopes for what the XFL could be was the same that I had for the AAF, but the AAF had problems with money. So, I mean,
well, the AAF had problems with money. I think the XFL where they did good is they got Bob Stoops as a coach. Like,
yeah.
Everybody knows who the hell Bob Stoops. If you watch any football, you know who the hell Bob Stoops is.
Yeah.
So it's like,
if you don't know who Bob Stoops is, what are you doing here?
Yeah, you should not be listening to us.
You should know who Bob Stoops is.
Right. I mean, so they went and got big names, and I mean, there's other coaches out there that are big names, and it also, I mean, it could also be depending on how the money is with coaches and blah blah blah. Kingsbury we're going to see, but
Man.
College coaches don't make the jump to pro.
It's very rare. Yeah.
It's very, very rare. So maybe the XFL could not only be a jumping point for college players, but for college coaches that want to make the move to the NFL, that started at college, like move to the XFL, and then move into the pros. Like kind of go see if you do well in the XFL. So I think it's got a lot of potential. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes. I'm incredibly interested to see how this is going to go.
Yeah, the optimism for it is pretty high. Not like ridiculously high. It's like, this is the new NFL. No, of course not. NFL is a juggernaut. It's never going to get stopped.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no...
It has an opportunity. It's got a niche. And I think it could fit into that niche very well for, I don't know how long. Hopefully a while.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's
more
a lot...
football is not necessarily a bad thing.
Right, and there's a lot of good college players out there that don't get drafted, and... Give the kids a shot.
I lost Ross.
What?
And this is why we're trying to work on...
What happened?
There he is.
Oh, sorry.
I hear him again.
Oh, you lost me? Sorry about that.
Yeah, I lost you for a little bit.
Oh, but, yeah, so it's going to be very interesting because, there's a lot of good college players out there, and, let's see what they can do. I mean, just because you're not in the 1% and you might not be the biggest, you might not be the strongest, you might not test well, but you could just have that it factor. And okay, so yeah, I'm interested. I think it could be very good.
I think we went on that one a little bit longer than I was planning. I was going to say, hey, welcome to the show. Check us out on YouTube and Stitcher Radio and Spotify. No, we went on XFL, which was good. Speaking of that, speaking of it never replacing, NFL Super Bowl is over.
It is.
It was a good game. I enjoyed it.
It was a very good game. The Chiefs. The Chiefs were a better team. I think they showed that throughout the playoffs, and then in that game you could see it like when they just kind of turned it on. There was no stopping it. However, and I know everybody's knock on the game, and I kind of have the same feeling of everybody's talking about how Jimmy G just couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
Which I agree. He there was a couple passes he missed. Kittle over the middle, and then the one deep pass to Emmanuel Sanders. That dude had everybody smoked by a couple yards, and Jimmy G overthrew him by like 10.
Yeah.
But the thing was, why were they even trying? You got there by running the damn football. Run the damn football.
Yeah, I don't know. It came down to I think I don't know when that play was you were talking about. I wasn't thinking about that. I did know he went 2 for 8 with an interception in the fourth quarter. Jimmy G did. So at this point, you can't say he's the guy to take you to the next level. He's got to work on some stuff, I think.
Well, I mean,
I think he's got the tools to do it. Obviously,
I mean, if you look at it, I mean, he went 2 for 8, but I think it was something to the fact of like the numbers are gonna be a little skewed. I remember hearing them on ESPN, but it's something like with 4 minutes or 5 minutes left in the third quarter and going into the fourth quarter when San Francisco had a lead.
Mm-hmm.
They ran, I think it was like 20 plays, and Jimmy G dropped back to pass on like 13 or 14 of them.
Yeah.
When you have a lead and you have a running game like they had, and it did start off slow, but they started like in the second quarter, I think it was, they started kind of churning out some big runs. Like they were popping some 5-yarders, 10-yarders. They were kind of getting rolling, and I was thinking that Chiefs were going to have some issues, and then they just went away from it. They started throwing the ball. It's like, what are you doing? Stop it! Stop it! Give the ball to the running back. At least at that time, you did what you got. That you did what got you there.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't work, okay. I mean, like nobody can argue with you. Like you got there by running the football. You got there. You ran the football. And if you got beat, you got beat. Now everybody's looking at it like you got there by running the football and you didn't run the football. So like what are you guys thinking here?
Yeah. My thought on that was, this isn't the first time it's happened to Kyle Shanahan where a team has come back on him.
Yeah.
Late in the game like that. That's twice now.
Yeah.
The other, for people who don't know, Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator in Atlanta when they played New England in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
when they're up 28-3.
Yeah, I think the stat was, so in the last 2 Super Bowls Kyle Shanahan's been in the last 7 minutes of each fourth quarter, his team has been outscored 41-0.
That's rough, sir.
That's bad. That's not rough.
Yeah,
that's just flat out bad.
When I was breaking down the numbers, because I've heard all the talking heads have been talking about Kyle Shanahan when he had the lead, and in college I call it trestle ball, and you know what I'm talking about. You get the lead, you hold on to the lead.
Yeah.
No matter if it's by 1 or if it's by 15 or if it's by 20, right? Kyle Shanahan, and I didn't break down the plays, I only broke down the numbers, but if you look at it, on fourth down, San Francisco only went for it once and didn't get it.
Right.
And I want to say, I think it was like 4 or 5 times that Kansas City had a fourth down conversion. They had a fourth down opportunity, and they converted it on 3 of them because they went for it. Like Andy Reid, who's an amazing coach and now has a Lombardi trophy to prove it.
Right.
Listen, this is it. We're pulling out all the stops.
Right. I mean, that one play, like they did a fucking pirouette in the middle of the damn field, like 3 of them at the same time. But like going back to some numbers to tickle your fancy. I'm just going to do the playoffs. Okay. Against Minnesota, first round, right? San Francisco threw the ball 19 times.
Yeah.
Ran the ball 47. Against the Packers, in the thrashing, threw the ball 8 times, ran the ball 42 times. In the championship, threw the ball 31 times, ran it 22. There was 20 less carries or more than each of the game, not combined, in each game than what got them there. And they beat a very good Vikings team and a very good Packers team. And then they just, I don't know what, honestly, I don't know what the fuck he's thinking.
I don't know. And it's one of those types of things where, and people, I'm not, like, I'm going to, turn the mirror on myself here a little bit. When it comes down to clutch situations, I don't necessarily fold, but I'm not necessarily the type of person who's going to, like, I love this, that when the pressure's on, that's when, there are certain people that are able to do that, Right. Tom Brady, when the pressure's on, he's going to put the ball. He's probably going to go 5 for 5 and take his team down the field 75 yards for a touchdown for a win.
Put the ball right in the right where it's supposed to be, right in the breadbasket.
Yeah. Some people are just born for it, and they can do it, and it's amazing, right? And it makes you wonder, is Kyle Shanahan the type of coach to make those right decisions in those situations?
Hey, to actually kind of go a little deeper dive into that. So of those 22 carries, 3 of them were Debo Samuel, and 2 of them were Garoppolo. So their running backs only ran the ball. Their running backs only ran the ball 17 times, and it's not like they weren't getting it done. Mostert was averaging 4.8 yards a carry, and Tevin Coleman was averaging 5.6 yards a carry. Like, they were getting it done.
Mind-boggling. I didn't catch those numbers. That is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Trust your offensive line because it's good.
Yeah.
Because Kansas City's defensive line is not that good. It's pretty good. Obviously, it's NFL quality, but it's not that good. You know, it's not Pittsburgh's defensive line.
Well, and running the ball got you to 13-3.
Exactly.
And to the Super Bowl. Run the goddamn football.
Yeah, I don't get it.
No, like that one's just.
Again, we're not getting paid millions of dollars to.
Well, honestly,
manage these teams.
Honestly, at this fact, neither should he. If I mean, if everybody can see it but him. And side note, I want to say, don't get me wrong, Patrick Mahomes, fantastic player, and like I think he's the number 1 quarterback in the NFL. Played very well. Damian Williams should have been the Super Bowl MVP.
Was he the
running back?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he played his butt off.
And I'm not gonna lie.
Patrick Mahomes is obviously the star of that team, but he didn't play the best. He had 2 interceptions.
Well, that first one was terrible. Like, he threw
was
into
under
a
100
crowd.
QBR. Yeah, it was under 100 in QBR. Both quarterbacks were.
Yeah. And granted, I'm not just saying this because Damian Williams is an OU boy, but he had a great game. He had a great game. And I think he should have been the Super Bowl MVP. I mean, he had 17 carries for 104 yards and a touchdown, and then that touchdown catch with field awareness, getting the ball over that pylon. But yeah, I mean, first off, I would like to say, shout out, like you said, Andy Reid. Happy that dude got one. I like him.
Yeah. 100% deserves it.
Yeah, super glad the guy got the Super Bowl. I think he likes it or deserves it. Kansas City only loses 1 player on offense, and it's like the guard. Everybody else is coming back. Like, they're
going to pay Pat Mahomes all the money he deserves.
Well, it's not going to shock me. I mean, but they're going to win again next year.
You think they're going to win the Super Bowl, or at least they're going to be definitely the favorites?
I mean, at this point, Baltimore looked good. I really, really, really wanted to see Baltimore versus Kansas City in the AFC Championship. That would have been a great one. But, tip my hat to Tennessee. They ended up beating them. But I think, Baltimore's going to be scary. New England, I think Brady's staying put. And if they get him some weapons, New England's always scary. But
all the reports I'm seeing is Tom wants to come back and he wants weapons, and Robert Kraft's going to be like, yes.
Right, and they should be. So they're going to be scary, but still, even with those 2 teams, I still think Kansas City is going to be the team to beat. Mm-hmm. I don't see San Francisco being what they were. I don't see Green Bay lives and dies by
Aaron Rodgers.
So they could be great again. They could be
it's gonna be interesting because we were talking about before about talking about Dak Prescott wanting $35 million a year, and there's only one other quarterback who's getting $35 million a year right now, and it's Russell Wilson.
Right.
And there are other quarterbacks who are way better than Dak Prescott who aren't even making $35 million a year, and Aaron Rodgers is one of them. And
right.
They kind of started off slow this year. I think if they can get going, if they can get on the same page.
Green Bay?
Yeah.
Well, you say start slow. They went 13-3 for the love of God. That's not
I'm saying at the very beginning of the season.
Okay.
I think they started off like 2-3 or something like that. They didn't start off great. And that's in the NFC North, which is, you've got
Minnesota's good.
Yeah, but Minnesota is very good.
And Chicago's, they're decent.
Their defense, Chicago. Listen, they have no offense.
Trubisky is god awful.
Trubisky's is not good. He's had one good year, and I don't think he's there. But their defense is legit.
Yes,
that's a real defense.
But I mean, just look at the season. I mean, we're kind of jumping the gun about talking about way too early this year. But I mean, I don't see the NFC East being a threat. The Eagles or Cowboys. Definitely not the Giants or Redskins. They're not there yet. But
No,
Cowboys, I
no.
don't see them making the jump. I don't see the Eagles.
Well, it's gonna be interesting with Mike McCarthy there now because he's definitely a very good coach. So we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. The Packers, like I said, could live and die by Aaron Rodgers. They'd be fantastic. They could be
Yeah.
bad. Who knows? Vikings are good. Bears could be there. Lions suck. Saints will be back. Tampa Bay went 7-9, and if they get Phillip Rivers, could be a team to watch.
Yeah.
But
the anomaly that is Jameis Winston.
Right.
The only NFL quarterback in the history of the world to go 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. He's Neo. He's the anomaly.
He's so bad. But I don't see San Francisco being them. Seattle will be good.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down. I think San Francisco will still be pretty good. Their defense is very good. That's for sure.
I mean, yeah, I'm just kind of looking at it. I think Chiefs, Texans, Ravens, Patriots. That's the teams I'm looking at next year.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll see what New England can do in getting weapons.
Right. Yeah.
If they can actually get legit weapons.
Yeah. Yeah. New England's the asterisk
yeah.
of who's coming, who's staying.
Yeah.
Who they're going to grab.
If they can get some good weapons for Tom Brady, then definitely for sure. But it's low effort,
right.
then I don't think so. I could see another early exit again.
Well,
depends on who they're playing.
They
obviously.
got what's his name out of A-State last year? Neil? No.
Wide receiver? Who are you talking
Yes. Yeah, wide receiver.
Well, yeah.
Nick. What the hell was his name?
I don't remember.
But he got hurt. He's a very good wide receiver. I think he's but he was a rookie. So it's going. I'm looking it up right now. N'Keal Harry.
Oh yeah, I remember him. Yep.
Yeah, he's very good. Got the size at 6'4", 220.
It's funny. I saw that was Bill Belichick's Achilles heel, is his inability to draft wide receivers that pan out in the long run. I think the best one he's had was Deion Branch.
Was Wes Welker drafted by him?
No, he was a Dolphin.
That's right.
Maybe Edelman, maybe Julian Edelman.
Yeah,
but he wasn't a wide receiver in college. That was just luck.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if he was drafted. He might have been a free agent signing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he just kind of came out of freaking nowhere.
Yeah, Welker was a Dolphin. But yeah, it was a good game. Glad Andy Reid got it. First Super Bowl win in 50 years, which is awesome for the Kansas City Chiefs. From all I've heard, I believe their fan base is pretty good. I think you sent me that story about they were in Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes was in a restaurant.
Oh yeah, great
with his
story.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then nobody came up to him, and he left, and he paid for everybody's meal.
Yeah, he stopped at the door, turned around, and said, "Thank you, Kansas City. This is why I love this town." Yeah. And then walked out and paid for everybody because they left him alone and let him have a night out,
a quiet meal. Yeah, that's Midwest for you, man.
Yeah. So
shout out to Brandon Thompson.
So just kind of, a little fun looking at NFL wide receiver free agents next year.
Okay.
Because we're talking about the Patriots.
Number one, Des Bryant.
Nope.
No.
Close.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper.
Ooh, and he's a Belichick guy because he runs routes.
Number two.
He's
AJ Green. And he wants to win because he's been in Cincinnati. And he's dying to win. He's coming off an injury, so we'll see.
Yeah, but even he's come off injuries before and been amazing.
Right. So, when he's healthy, he is a stud.
No, he's a stud and a half. Yeah, you got to understand, he was a stud with Andy Dalton as his quarterback.
Right. Come on. Number three, they have Emmanuel Sanders.
A little older, but still pretty good.
Yep. Number four, Robbie Anderson off the Jets. Finished last year with Well, I mean, see, the thing was him. He finished last year with 52 receptions, 780 yards, and 5 touchdowns, and his salary was only $3 million. You could probably get him pretty cheap.
You could get him cheap, yeah.
Number 5.
And by the way, I don't want to dog on him being in New York with Sam Darnold as his QB. I still think Sam Darnold's going to actually be really good because I dug into his numbers, and there's some potential there.
There's potential.
You know?
I'm not.
Yeah.
He hasn't shown me
needs-
where he's going to be a top 10 quarterback yet. Not that he can't do it.
Yeah.
He just hasn't shown it to me yet. I think he's got the tools to be a top 10 quarterback. Right now, I look at him like he's going to be he's from what I've seen, I think he will be a starter in the NFL for 10 to 12 years. Good, not fantastic, not making Pro Bowls. Has the tools to do it, just haven't seen it yet.
I think if he could get himself into a good situation with a good head coach, because he hasn't had a good one yet.
Right. Kind of finishing this little quick list off.
Yep.
Number 5, Randall Cobb. Number 6, Brashad Perriman.
Wait, all right, Randall Cobb he's still in Green Bay, right? Or is he in Dallas?
He was in Dallas.
Okay, so Dallas has 2 of their 1 and 2 receivers as free agents going into next year.
And their quarterback's asking for $35 million.
And their quarterback's asking for $35 million. Come on.
And they just gave
on,
Zeke
man.
a shit ton of money.
Right, well, you pay Zeke.
I honestly think you pay Dak before you pay Zeke. Running backs, I mean, don't get me wrong, Zeke's good.
Yeah.
But running backs are a dime a dozen. You can get one in the 5th round that end up being superstars.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks touch the ball every single time. And like, don't get me wrong,
Well,
Zeke,
yeah.
Zeke's one, like, if he's not he's one of the best running backs in the league, and I'm not doubting that. But
Yeah.
I think you pay your quarterback first.
Oh, well, that's the market. That's what it is.
Yeah, you
The
pay
highest paid players in the league right now are all quarterbacks.
right, and I think the Cowboys messed up on their like the order they did it. Like they paid Tank Johnson a stupid amount of money. They paid Jalen Smith, the inside linebacker, a stupid amount of money. They paid Zeke a stupid amount of money. Well, now you've got your number 1 wide receiver, Amari Cooper, who is an animal, and your quarterback, who has done very well. Hasn't won the games. Like he's won, but not won a ton of games. Hasn't really won the playoffs, but like numbers wise, up there.
Mm-hmm.
Young, could develop into something great. Wants money. In my opinion, asking for too much, but that's beyond the point. But you don't like if you pay those two.
Ryan, are you hearing this? What I'm hearing is you're saying is Ryan was right. You pay Dak.
No, I think you pay Dak first. If I'm gonna say Ryan was right on pay Dak, but pay Dak first because you pay the quarterback. However, you don't pay him $35 million.
$35 million.
No.
Yeah, you don't pay Dak Prescott $35 million.
No, like I said,
The fact that he
Patrick
turned
Mahomes
down $33 million is kind of crazy.
Yeah, to me, Patrick Mahomes is the only one that deserves $35 million. Like, don't get me wrong, Russell Wilson, like you said, probably the number 2 quarterback in the league, or if not right there.
Well,
I think he's close. I'd put him at like 30, anywhere between 30 and 33 million. Still stupid amount of money.
Well, also you got to understand Russell Wilson got that big gigantic contract because he was a Super Bowl winner. And was he the MVP of that Super Bowl that they won?
No.
Who was the MVP of that?
Somebody on the defense.
Yeah, probably.
Don't get me wrong, Russell Wilson's very good, but that defense won that Super Bowl. The Legion of Boom and that defense won that Super Bowl.
Yeah, because that was the year that Peyton was completely destroying records.
Yeah, and then it was the most boring Super Bowl I've ever seen in my life. Because it was just a thrashing.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Speaking of going back to the Super Bowl, normally you look at it and whichever team ends up having the better defense tends to have the advantage. You know, the Seattle against Denver. Denver when they played Carolina, because Denver's defense that year was insane. And this year San Francisco had the better defense, but didn't win it.
Well, they had the great equalizer.
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes, yes.
Yeah.
They had that. Kind of waiting for him. I'm kind of still going through other wide receivers that are out there that could be interesting.
And it's not like one of those types of situations where New England comes calling. You take that call.
Oh yeah,
because the opportunity to win a Super Bowl is, even when they're down, is still high.
Yeah,
like they still could have hauled off, but they're having issues on offense. But if they fix the issues on offense, they're good.
If they would have got there, nobody would have been shocked.
Yeah,
they would have gone, okay. Here we go again. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, and we'll go a little further into that as next season starts approaching in NFL. I mean, the next big thing for the NFL is my favorite thing: the draft.
Yeah. Draft is fun. I love how they do it now, where it switches. It goes from different city to different city,
and that's what it should be. Let other teams.
Nashville. When they were in Nashville this year, that was amazing. It was right down Main Street. It was amazing.
Oh, they had that place, and they showed out. Even when, I think it was day 2, it was pouring down rain, and they still showed out, filled the streets.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. So we kind of, we went a little further on this NFL than I was thinking, but kind of moving on real quick. To the big, I'll say question mark.
Hold on. I do want to go back. So, with Mahomes winning, he's now an MVP of the league, a Super Bowl winner, and a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
Is he the most successful Big 12 quarterback in the NFL of all time? Because technically, he's the first one to win a championship.
Oh, so we're just going Big 12, not Big 8 or anything?
Well, yeah, let's go Big 12 because he was in the Big 12.
I was going to say, because technically, if you want to go by it, Troy Aikman played in the Big 12 at OU.
He's UCLA, though.
But
he got drafted out of UCLA.
But he played at OU.
For a minute.
He played for a year. Well, he was there for a season, broke his leg, and then Jameel Holloway won us a national championship as a true freshman. He transferred.
Yeah, but he got his draft stock at UCLA.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. But, I mean, he did play in the Big 12, so. Just saying. Big 12.
I can say the greatest NFL quarterback of all time is from the Big 10.
Yeah, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, yeah.
From where?
Not from Ohio State.
No.
Huh?
Where's he from?
I don't know. I have to do the research on that.
I have to look up what school he went to. I don't remember.
His Hulu commercial, I hate him. We've talked about it. I hate him only for the fact that he went to Michigan. And my Michigan fan friends have to say he's the greatest NFL quarterback of all time. And I can't disagree because it's true. But his Hulu and he's making it really hard to hate him because his Hulu commercial was actually pretty funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Where I was watching it and I was on the edge of my seat. I'm like, oh my God, is Tom Brady retaring right now?
Oh, you and me even talked about it. We're like, wow, what?
I'm like, what is happening? And it was, I got an announcement to make. Hulu has live sports. I lost it. I'm like, dang it, Tom Brady. Oh, that was so good. Why do you have to be so charming?
He's great. He's like, I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere. Yeah.
So I'll say Big 12. Yeah, I'll probably give it to him. The history of the Big 12 obviously was the Big 8. Actually, no, well, he played in the Big 8, but he wasn't in the Big 12. But the one I'm trying to think of, Cordell Stewart at Colorado.
He's not better than Patrick Mahomes.
I
agree. I agree. Cordell Stewart was amazing. But
no, you said more successful. You didn't say better.
I said the most successful.
Yeah, the most successful. Cordell Stewart. How many Super Bowls did he win?
0.
I thought he won one.
He was the quarterback. He was a wide receiver when Mike Tomczak was a quarterback in Pittsburgh. So he wasn't there. He wasn't there when they played the Cowboys and lost. And then they didn't win a Super Bowl again until 2005. That was with Ben Roethlisberger. And Cordell Stewart was gone.
I'm kind of looking. Yeah, we don't have a lot of quarterbacks. Oh, number. Looking at
Which
the-
is weird. Which is weird.
By the way, looking at the list of Bleacher Report best NFL quarterbacks of all time out of the Big 12, number 1, Troy Aikman, Oklahoma.
He didn't play at Oklahoma. That's he's in on that list by a technicality, and you know it.
It says Oklahoma/UCLA, but Oklahoma's on that.
It actually you got it. Is it which conference? College football conference. So, by the way, we've gone about 35 minutes into this college football podcast, and we've talked about college football at all till now.
That's true.
So when it comes down to most successful quarterbacks out of Power 5 conference, it's Big 10 or Pac-12?
Oh, for NFL?
Yeah. Because Pac-12, you've got Troy Aikman, you've got Aaron Rodgers.
We're talking of all time.
Of all time, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You've got shoot, I just had it.
Favre went to a nobody.
Yeah, not Favre.
Marino went to Pitt.
He's ACC.
Right. Brady went obviously Big 10.
Big 10. It was
Montana went to Notre Dame.
Yeah, Terry Bradshaw was Group of 5. He was Louisiana Tech.
Right. Young went to BYU.
Yeah.
Roger Staubach went to Navy.
He was Navy.
Yeah, he was Navy. Man, Group of 5.
Yeah, right. Maybe that's not a conference. Aikman. Well, you gotta say it. I think it's a Pac-12 because you got Jared Goff, who could be good.
Stop. Don't even. We just listed off freaking Marino, Young, and those boys. Don't you pull fucking Jared Goff into this?
Well, it would have to be by quantity, not quality.
Yeah, I was like, don't even start with.
But Aaron Rodgers, yeah. But Troy Aikman has 3 Super Bowls. Aaron Rodgers has 1. Big Ten. Big Ten has 5.
From Brady.
Well, no. Big Ten has 6. 5 of them are from Brady. One of them's from Drew Brees.
Oh yeah, he went to Purdue. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's other ones in there, but yeah.
Yeah, that's not something I was prepared for. I could have dug deep into that one.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to look into. I don't know. I mean, I'd probably go Pac-12.
You have to at this point, just because it's the raw numbers of Super Bowl wins.
Right, and I think it's just
spread out over multiple quarterbacks.
Well,
you also have. Well, here's the thing: Are you counting Russell Wilson in Big Ten? Because he went to NC State, and he was a grad transfer, but he wasn't going to be drafted if he didn't go to Wisconsin.
He might have. We don't know that. I mean,
maybe
he played at Wisconsin, but he wasn't a superstar. I think he was slept on at Wisconsin. I remember watching Wisconsin, and I thought, why is this kid not? And the only reason he was is because he was how tall he is. He's 5'10". Right. Hey, we got Baker and Mahomes.
How many Super Bowls? Well, Mahomes has 1 Super Bowl, and Baker has 0 winning seasons.
But he's Baker.
I like Baker. I like Baker a lot. Seems like a good dude, except for I saw a thing right before we started recording. Apparently, some random girl started Twitter streaming, or not streaming, Twitter like unloading about how he cheated on his wife with this girl, but none of it's corroborated, other than Baker. Like apparently it was she's got a Snapchat, like a personal Snapchat he sent, and he blocked her on Twitter. It's like, well, that doesn't really say anything.
Yeah, that means nothing. And yeah, that means absolutely nothing.
It means nothing. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope for the best.
Right, and people will do whatever they can to
get attention,
get famous quick.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, real quick, we're
Yeah.
kind of we got a couple of topics to get to, but one of the big things of the weekend was the I don't know if I want to say controversy, but Bones versus Reyes.
Yeah. Retained. I have not seen any highlights. All I know is that it went the distance.
Oh, you
and
didn't see it.
All the comments I've seen was Reyes was robbed. Reyes was robbed. I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to it.
So I didn't watch it. I have watched highlights and seen it. Like seen what. From what the highlights I saw and everything I've read about it, is Reyes won the fight.
Okay.
Even Dana White came out and said that he had Reyes win the fight.
Yeah, well, when Dana comes out and says that the judges made the wrong call, he's usually right.
Yeah, he knows what he's talking about with this sport.
Yes.
There's a reason behind he does that. But a lot of people, well, I think the biggest thing that where people are getting mad with the judges is, everybody had it just right there.
Uh-huh.
Could have been Jones, could have been Reyes. Like, what the... One judge had it 49-46.
Yeah, I saw that.
And everybody's like, 49-46? Like,
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Like, no way in
them.
hell is it 49-46.
Yeah, I need to watch a fight, so...
Yeah, no, it was a great one from what I've read, and the highlights made it look fantastic. And everybody's saying like this needs to be ran back quick.
Yeah. So I can say, when I speak to that fight, I can say my prediction was that it was going to be Bones with TKO stoppage in either the first or the second round. Because I looked at. Well, I'll tell you why. I had a reasoning why. So I looked at the kid Reyes's his background when it came in going into this fight. His biggest win was against Chris Weidman. And Chris Weidman has been on a downslide for 3 years now.
Yeah, he's not the Weidman of old.
Right? And he's only had 6 fights in the UFC. All of them were... I think 2 of them were stoppages. The rest of them were decisions. And I want to say it's just like... With how Bones fought against Santos during the last fight, when he barely won, my thought was he was going to go into the fight. Right, he was.
Yeah,
that was not a good look for him. And then this is also not a good look for him. And you got to understand, John Jones is he's right in the middle of his prime right now. He's there, but he's not. He's not putting it together, or he's on the back end of it. But
he's on the back end. He's getting up there. He's almost 30. Well, he's 30 fights in.
All right, fair. That's fair. Yeah, yeah.
He's been around the block a time or two.
And hard living.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that. So my thought was Bones was going to come in because Bones, he's still John Bones Jones. He can still turn it on when he wants to turn it on. But the fact that he went the distance with this kid whose best fight was against Chris Weidman, a former middleweight, who's on the downslide. I want to say that this was a sort of a send-off. I felt like UFC was just giving him Reyes to say, dominate this win, and then you can move on and do those heavyweight fights you've been talking about, or fight Israel Adesanya, right? And then we'll just move on. Let the light heavyweight division go, sort of thing.
Yeah. See, I saw it kind of opposite. I thought Bones was going to win the fight just because he's John Bones Jones.
Yeah.
And it's hard to go against him when he wins all the time. However, I saw Reyes a lot similar as Gustafsson.
Yeah, dude is huge.
And Gustafsson, the first fight, gave Jones
That was his biggest test.
That was
his biggest test.
Yeah, he gave Jones everything he wanted and more.
That was prime Jones too. That was Jones when he was unbeatable.
And Reyes is as big, but like tall wise, but he is thicker than Gustafson. Like that dude can pack some power.
Yeah.
So and Jones seems to have more issues with serious strikers. Santos, he had issues with Santos on a bum knee.
I thought it was 2. Wasn't it both of his knees?
No, it was one knee, but he
just
literally...
one? Okay.
It was one knee, but he literally tore every damn thing that... ACL, PCL, MCL, he tore it all.
That's right. Yeah.
On
one leg.
Yeah, and still had issues.
And it was still a decision, yeah.
And then Gustafson, he had issues with. So I thought Reyes had a chance. I still had Jones, but I didn't think he was going to go the distance. I'll give Reyes credit for that. And
oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind to get it.
Ran back.
I think Reyes needs to. I really, really, really want to see Santos when he comes back healthy.
Yeah.
I think healthy, if he stays healthy, I think he beats John Bones.
I hope he comes back healthy and he hauls off and he like destroys his next opponent and then gets right back in line again. Because I agree with you. I think Santos with a good knee probably could have won that fight.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to be very interested to see that. But yeah, somebody brought it up that, and it's nothing against the judges, but the game has gotten, like when the fight game, UFC fight game has gotten so big and so popular that they almost need to have ex-fighters as judges.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Because I mean, these fighters know. I mean, they know they've been in there. They've seen it. They know what winning a fight is.
You see it. You see it like when they'll do. I think of the famous clip of Chuck Liddell watching a fight, like, and he's moving around, and then he starts wobbling with his hands up. It's like you watch a pro fighter watch another fight. That I bet you they can feel what's going on as they're watching it.
Right, and I've talked about like. Nothing against. I mean, I do love all the other commentators, but even Rogan. Like, I love Rogan, but my favorite is DC. I love when DC's on the mic. When he sits there, like he calls it out. He's like, "Hey, well, watch this. He's gonna slip this. He's gonna slip this." And he kind of does what Tony. Like it's the same as Tony Romo. Tony Romo, when he's on the headset, he's seen it all, and he calls it out. Unlike Booger, who's an idiot, Booger McFarlane.
Yeah, but Booger says it in such a way that's so lovable. Booger's the new John Madden.
My favorite Booger McFarlane thing is that he tried so hard. This is a total squirrel, but he tried very hard to beat Tony Romo. And he's like, okay, at this point, watch out for the screen pass. Here comes a screen pass. They snap the ball and throw it 45 yards down the field.
I love Booger. I don't want him to ever lose his job just for things like that. And he seems like a nice guy.
I'm sure he is. But when DC, like, especially when it gets to wrestling, he's good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think need to get ex-fighters in there as judges or something. But
I don't know why it hasn't happened yet. Is that a part of the gaming commission type thing?
I bet you it's part of the gaming commission. I think it's going to be. I think
because
you fight so many people and. Some of these dudes do hold grudges.
Yeah.
And, somebody could...
Obviously. It's obvious that some people hold grudges because their scoring is egregious sometimes.
Yeah. But fighters could hold bigger grudges if somebody beat them or talk shit. Like if Conor McGregor was a judge for Khabib.
Yeah. I think the heads of major MMA organizations in the United States should sit down. What is there? 2 of them should sit down and determine a actual legit, because they've changed the scoring a couple times. It started off, it was very similar to boxing scoring, and it just didn't work.
Right. I like what, now it's good. I like it. With
it's
the
better.
10 points for the winner, 9 if you get close, 8 if you get smashed. Okay.
Yeah,
that's easy.
and it, but yeah, I think there's a way to do it a little bit better. I think I don't have it because I'm not a fighter. I don't know, but I think you got enough guys who've been fighting in MMA long enough to have the expertise to be able to come up with something that's better.
See, but I don't know how, because it's a fight, so it's hard. Like, you can't put like where takedowns are worth more than knockdowns, or knockdowns are worth more than takedowns. Because say somebody like knocks somebody down once, cool, and then the other dude takes him down 5 times. Okay, well, what is that, a draw? Well, no, the dude dominated him on the ground. Just because if you get somebody on the ground and you ground and pound and pummel their ass, you don't get any knockdowns.
Yeah.
But you're pummeling their face with your elbow.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if what type of judging is done in like grappling or jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
When it comes down to scoring. I'm not going to say wrestling because, there'd be,
pin.
2-point takedowns and pin. Well, you don't want to do a pin, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, so
you get the 3 points for stuff like that. It's just I think there's a way to do it, and I don't have the wherewithal or knowledge on how to do it, but I think there's a possibility that you could come up with something a little bit more efficient, and then get former fighters in there, to score them.
I'd be interested. I don't know. Like you said, is it all the fight commission? Like, does Dana White have any say on who the judges are?
I have no idea.
I mean, that'd be interesting. I mean, Dana obviously knows this business better than
he knows
anybody.
Yeah.
That's why he runs it, and he's made millions and millions and millions and billions of dollars off it. But
yeah,
it'd be interesting if he had no say in the judges. I'd be like, why not? Like, let him pick it. It's kind of like where was I think it was like in the early last year when they had the fights in New York. And New York said, you can fight it, but we want to use our refs.
Yeah.
And Dana agreed.
And it was a joke.
It was like stoppages and like, what are you doing?
It was. And it wasn't the first time it's happened. New York, they messed that. That was the Masvidal Nate Diaz fight, wasn't it?
No. This was before then. This was like this was when the Lawler Askren fight. In the stoppage with
that was Herb Dean.
That was Herb Dean, but it was that fight, and there was a couple other that like people were like got pulled them off way too early, and they're like, "What are you doing?" Like the guy was literally standing up.
Yeah. Did you see Herb Dean's explanation as to why he made that decision?
I mean,
about
honestly,
stopping the fight on that one.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Like we've talked about this. I mean, looking back in slow motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lawler was like, I will agree, Lawler looked like he was fine. But watching the fight real time, I thought Lawler was out. I saw his hand go limp.
Yeah.
Granted, he was just putting his hands down, like hindsight. Right. But the UFC ref's job is to protect the fighters as much as possible. Yeah.
And that's 100% what Herb Dean was doing.
Right. And when people sit there and they're like, oh, he was fine. I was like, yeah, when we're watching fucking super slow-mo, yeah, no shit. You could see he was fine. But when these guys, like, even on TV, you just can't tell how fast they're moving. Yeah. It is insane.
Don't get Yeah, you don't get the perspective of the impact and what exactly is happening.
Right.
I completely agree.
And I haven't even been to a UFC fight, but they had kind of a minor league UFC. It was like a regional. It was like Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, Texas fighters in Oklahoma City about 10 years ago. And I went, and I was bartending, and I got up close. And even like these minor leaguers, like the speed of these punches and like the impact, you're just like, holy shit, man! Like, this is a fight.
Yeah.
So it was pretty crazy. So yeah, I don't blame Herb Dean for what he did.
No,
I mean,
he's the second best to ever do it.
Right.
The best being Big John.
Big John.
Love
Big John McCarthy.
He's great.
Right.
So yeah, moving on. I do want to bring up two. It was two title fights, and first one went to Jones. The second one was retained as well. Valentina Shevchenko. I need to pay more attention to her. She's a beast. And I looked at her numbers. She was a kickboxer before she went to MMA. She was 24-2 as a kickboxer, going back to like 2006. And in MMA, she's 18-3. And 3 losses. 18-3 is still great, and she's the champ, and that's great. She's fantastic. Got to understand, 2 of those 3 losses are against Amanda Nunes, who is currently the greatest women's fighter on the planet right now.
Yeah, she's the baddest bitch on the planet.
Yeah, easily. And she's got wins over, and it's not like she's fighting off tuna cans. I say tuna because of vaginas. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not. It's vagina. Whisper. It's not. She's not fighting canned whispering eyes. You know what I'm saying? She's got wins over Holly Holm, who's a beast, and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Those are 2 big ones. So she's legit.
So she is, and I don't. She is legit. Don't get me wrong. She's a very good fighter.
You're on my parade right now, aren't you?
Well, I mean, it's just when people sit here and talk about like domination and blah blah and with the women, and don't get me wrong, Nunez is fantastic and Shevchenko is good, and Rose Namajunas and freaking Andrade and freaking all these girls are just fantastic. Mm-hmm. Nobody will ever compare to Ronda. I can't say never. I can't say never, but
yeah,
none of these girls do.
I look at it like this. In how young MMA actually is. Because you got to remember, MMA has only been around as a professional sport, making money on it, since 1992. Right? That's, less than 30 years? And in the grand scheme of things, like boxing has been around since the 1600s.
First off, Jimmy,
fighting.
1992 is 28. It's 28 years, not
right. I'm talking about in comparison to the other professional sports.
When
it comes down to combat sports, boxing is established. We've had a golden age, we've had a silver age, and a modern age, right? Whereas MMA is still.
Is this trash age? This is trash age.
What's that?
Trash age. Boxing.
Yeah, I don't like how it's going now, but you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I do, but I mean, like, even then,
it's so young. The sport itself is so young. It's still evolving.
It is, but I go back, like, I think if Ronda was in and Ronda didn't change coaches, because that was her biggest mistake in her life, that her stupid fucking
that was her coach the whole time. But the difference is, oh yeah, he's a terrible coach. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'm not defending Edmund at all. He's terrible.
He wanted to make her a boxer.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah.
Like, no, let him tackle somebody and put him in an armbar. Like,
exactly.
This woman defended her belt 4 times, and it was in the ring less than 45 seconds.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you that Ronda Rousey was definitely ahead of her time. She was the greatest women's fighter on the planet. And I say women's because if she did fight any men, she would lose. But that's for another day.
That's a given.
Yeah, that's a given. But 100%.
Well, you can't say any man because if she fought you and me, she'd beat the shit out of us.
Well, I meant men fighting. She would destroy us.
She'd absolutely pummel her ass.
I'm we're both equally about a good 160 pounds heavier than her, and she would destroy us.
Oh, she would smash us.
And that's not even, it's not even we understand where we fit in this hierarchy.
But, 100%.
But in terms, and this I'm going back to the idea of it being such a young sport. It's currently, the fight game, the MMA fight game itself is currently in its, I'd say it's still in its infancy. I think we're getting to the point to where it could be in the golden age, where we're getting further along, but it's still gonna take some time. And in that time frame, women fighting in MMA is just, it's a small sliver. It's a real small sliver. And Ronda Rousey was the first great women's fighter ever. And the rest of the pack is starting to catch up. Because you put Ronda Rousey in today, there's no chance. Even if she does have good... if she has good coaching, there's a chance. But if you put Ronda, who is destroying girls in Strikeforce, in with Amanda Nunes and all those other people and other people today, I think she loses.
I don't. I think if she sticks to her ground game,
Yeah.
which is...
I mean, it's fair.
Like,
it's fair.
She was an animal. Like, good Lord.
My argument is she got knocked out by Holly Holm, and she was trying to. That's what I'm saying. I think because she was trying to bum rush Holly Holm to take her down, and Holly Holm wouldn't let her take her down. And Holly Holm she's not a champ. Like, she's not the best women's fighter right now.
Well, no, but she did try to stand way too much with Holly Holm. She did not try to take her down as much as she used to. That was kind of her first time of everybody's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you trying to box? You're trying to box a boxer, for the love of God."
Yeah, like a legit boxer.
Do not do that.
Yeah.
You need to be taking her to the ground. And that was kind of her downfall. Just Ronda with the way her grappling was.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Her ability, it's like Mariano, you know?
Yeah.
You knew what he was going to throw. It was going to be a cutter, and you're not going to touch it.
Yeah.
You know?
Guess what?
What's going to happen with Ronda? You're going to get an armbar, and you're not going to be able to stop it.
Yeah, she's going to take you to the ground. She's going to grab your arm, and she's going to yank on it, and there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it, and it's going to hurt, and you're going to tap, and that's just the way it works.
Yeah.
Just deal with it. But I will say Shevchenko's good.
Yeah, we're on the next phase. The first phase was all Ronda. We are currently on the next phase of the great women fighters.
I think we are getting there. Obviously, like, the women are a lot newer than the men, obviously. And I think one of the big problems, not problems, I don't want to say problem, but the women so far, since Ronda's left, haven't had Conor-esque fighter or Colby Covington or a Diaz, a loudmouth.
You mean, yeah? Well, I mean, had Joanna,
right? But like, they need like a
marketable star,
right? Like somebody, like,
not since Ronda. I agree.
Like Conor. Not that Covington or Diaz didn't back it up. Conor ran his mouth like a champ. But 95% of the time, he backed it up better than anybody. Yeah. I mean, he took Aldo's belt and put it on him in the middle of a freaking press conference, and then knocked him out in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, Colby Covington, I mean, granted, we've talked now, he's just literally trying to stay relevant, saying stupid shit.
Yeah, like I understand the game,
and it works. It works. The thing
and it definitely works. But
this
you
is
gotta
the thing.
win.
No, but that's the thing. Talking shit in MMA works, and it works, and it'll get you mainstream, and it'll get you big until you lose.
Yeah,
and once you lose,
who was the dude with the white hair? He had blonde hair. And he was talking crap against GSP. It was him and GSP were both coaches on Tough. And he did that a lot. He was 100% a guy who would be like, I'm going to talk as much crap as I can and say whatever, right? And then when the fight was over, people were like, well, and he lost to GSP, and he asked him, he's like, hey, what do you say after, talking all that crap? It's like, hey, man, I was just trying to sell the fight.
Right.
I lost. GSP's the greatest.
Well, it's kind of like the interesting one right now is Masvidal. Like, don't get me wrong, he's lost a lot of fights. Not a lot, but he's lost fights in the past, and he's like he's on this tear. But he's like, the 3-piece in a soda, which is one of the best things ever.
Oh God, it's so good.
But
his trash talk it's so natural.
Right. But he's
and
talking
that's why
a lot.
I love it.
But the next time he gets knocked out, it's all going to mean nothing. Because it's like, okay, cool story. You got knocked out, and now you can run your mouth. Because he's obviously always been a good fighter, but he hasn't been this mainstream. Like the front.
No, yeah, this is the first time he's on, where he's on top billing.
Yeah,
Josh Koscheck was the guy. That's what I was talking about.
Oh yeah.
He was a mouthpiece, but when he lost, he was like, "Yeah, I lost. He's just better than me."
Yeah, okay, do that. Like, that's the best.
You can be bold. You can be bold in your talk, but you also have to be humble in defeat. You get both of that, then.
By the way, I'm a little mad at ESPN right now. I'm looking at Jorge Masvidal's page, and they have nicknames on there.
Street Jesus.
They have Game Bread.
Maybe that was one he had before.
Right.
But his nickname now is Street Jesus.
Yeah, it's Street Jesus. I mean, it's awesome.
He's so good. Like, yeah, and his trash talk it's like the Diaz brothers. The Diaz brothers they don't necessarily talk trash.
Oh, yes,
they just talk. Well, I'm saying in the sense of their trash talk, it's not just to sell a fight. Like, that's them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it is.
And that's what Jorge Masvidal is.
Yeah.
That's who he's legit. And like when he's being himself, when he's doing that, he's not putting on an act.
Yeah. The big problem I have with the Diaz brothers is they're both tough as a coffin nail.
Yeah, easily. For sure.
Yeah, tough as a coffin nail. And they talk shit before the fight. And then, like you said, they're shit talkers. But my problem with them is I have never, kind of like what you said, like after a fight, got beat and said, yeah, like,
yeah,
I got knocked out.
All they did, well, neither of them have been knocked out. But when they lose by like decision,
there's an excuse.
There's always an excuse.
Yeah. It's not, I got beat.
That's a problem.
Yeah, and
that is 100% a problem.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. Like, if they came out and said, yeah, he came out and did some stuff that I wasn't expecting, and caught me off guard, and would love to run it back because it was, like, didn't knock me out, won by a decision, but yeah, I lost. I'd be fine with that, but just coming out and always making excuses, it's like, come on now. Well, and actually,
that's a character flaw, and that's.
Well, technically, do you call the Masvidal thing a knockout?
What, the flying knee? Or no, that was a doctor stoppage.
Yeah, it was a doctor stoppage, but
that was not a knockout.
Yeah, no. Masvidal
and
was winning that fight.
Shouldn't have been a doctor stoppage. Masvidal was winning that fight.
He was winning that fight, and he was winning the fight by a lot.
And I hear like our friend Jeff said, yeah, they stopped the fight right when Nick Diaz starts to turn it on, and he's right. That's what Nick Diaz does. Like Nick Diaz's thing, the Diaz brothers thing is their cardio. Their cardio is on a whole different level. And he's punches and bunches, and he usually breaks somebody down, both mentally because he's talking so much crap in the cage, and he's slapping you. He's not hitting you real hard, but he's hitting you a lot, and you can't stop it.
Yeah,
and that's his thing. So I would like to see that rematch. That's 100% sure, but Masvidal's got to get his title shot.
The thing is, I just don't, and it's nothing against the Diaz brothers or Nate and his cardio and all that shit, but like, did you watch that fight?
I did, yeah. Masvidal was dominating.
He was dominating, and most specifically, he was dominating on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at it right now, even the numbers, like, through 3 rounds, they spent 8 minutes on the ground. Mm-hmm. Jorge Masvidal had 7 minutes of control. Nate Diaz had 53 seconds.
Yeah.
There's 2 rounds left. I don't give a shit if Nate Diaz is like cardio's there or not. Masvidal could just lay on you for 2 rounds.
It was definitely you could win the next 2 rounds. You would have to win by a knockout.
Yeah, like you would have to knock out Masvidal, which not saying that it can happen.
Yeah,
but that's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Is knock out Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah.
So
such a terrible ending to a fight that should have. Stupid New York doctor. That was terrible. I'm still upset about that one.
Yeah, I'm not. Go Masvidal. I don't like Diaz.
No. I'm not upset that. I'm upset at the way the fight ended. You know, I was rooting for Masvidal because I don't like Nate Diaz or whatever.
No,
I don't like the Diaz brothers. They're whiny little babies who could kick the crap out of me in 10 seconds. But that being said, I was rooting for Jorge Masvidal because I like him. But to end a fight on that cut, which was not bad at all, it was a terrible stoppage.
Well, it is. It's just
I'd be upset if they ended it if it was the other way around.
My issue is it's kind of like Nate Diaz does what freaking what's his nuts Covington's doing. He tries to stay relevant and he runs his mouth and wants all the shit. Do you know he's ranked in the welterweight division?
Diaz?
Yeah.
What, he is ranked?
Yeah.
No.
He's not.
He's not ranked at all.
No. In the in the 170. In the 155, do you know what he's ranked?
What?
He's not.
What?
Yeah.
What is that about?
He's
clearly top 10 in both.
When was the last time he won a fight?
He fought Connor.
Yeah.
At 170.
And then lost. The next one. Like, he's 1-2, 1-3 in his last couple fights?
That's fair.
I mean, so you're not top 10 in any division. Not saying he's not a good fighter.
I'm using that.
He is a good fighter, but there's better fighters out there.
Annabelle is wondering why she can't use my phone that I'm using currently.
Annabelle, we're busy.
No.
Why? Because you're going to turn your Wi-Fi back on.
Why can't I?
Because it's almost time for bed. Go get ready for bed.
Did you forget that Monday I have next Monday off and the Monday after that off?
What does that have to do with tomorrow?
Why would I have a bedtime if I don't have to go to school tomorrow?
You do have school tomorrow.
No.
Go look at the calendar.
No, I have that Monday off.
The 17th. Not the 10th.
No, we have them off.
You have next Monday.
Look at the calendar.
It's on the thing.
No, it's not. Why would it be?
This is a look into the life of being a father of a 10-year-old girl, ladies and gentlemen.
We have at school. We have it off.
What time do you have to be at school tomorrow?
Why? Look it up on the calendar.
It's on the magnet on the.
Where?
And then I'm getting a phone call. Good Lord. Well, let's move this along so we can finish this up. Because we are getting a little long now. We're a little over an hour now.
Right, we're a little longer. But anyways, so we'll see what happens and all that. We'll get into the baseball. We wanted to.
10th. No school.
That's a medium day. Do you have no school?
No.
Do you have no school tomorrow?
No school.
Well, I have work tomorrow, so you still need to go to bed. Because I have work, and you're going to the youth center.
Why can't you? No.
Why can't I take leave?
Yes. Why?
Because.
Because why?
Because I didn't put it in yet.
Then put it in.
Where? I will talk about this after. I'm almost done. She's 10 going on 13. I love you.
Able to stay up.
So much.
I'm mad at you. It's your fault. For not knowing what
I didn't.
my
I 100%
schedule
did
is.
not know that she didn't have school tomorrow.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, I wanted to know.
I knew she didn't have school on next Monday because that's President's Day. But anyway.
Oh, we can edit all that shit out.
Nah, I'm leaving it in. That's the title of this episode. Should I edit that out? Nah, I'll leave it in.
Yeah, fuck it, leave it But anyways, yeah, we'll see what happens. We were going to talk baseball. We're way past time to talk
Yeah,
baseball.
I was just going to go over a few real quick things going on. Jock Peterson, outfielder for the Dodgers, no longer has been traded to Arizona for some reason. Like, that's a good move for.
He was traded to
it's
Anaheim, I thought.
No, oh yeah, Anaheim. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought it was Arizona. I wrote it down as Arizona.
Yeah, Anaheim.
Yeah, that's an interesting move.
Yeah, they now got Mike Trout and Jock Peterson, two bangers.
I still don't have the pitching though.
Well, yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, because Jock Peterson can mash the ball. He strikes out a lot though.
Yeah, well. They're going
And it
to
was-
they're going to juice the baseballs again. Who cares?
Yeah. And it's official today. I saw. Well,
So, Mookie Betts,
I think it
yeah.
went through. Mookie Betts to LA.
It's official.
Well, Mookie and David Price.
Yeah.
And Boston is in full on rebuild. They are in. We're gonna hunker down, and we're gonna move on because they're unloading a buttload of money because they just got rid of Mookie Betts and David Price, who I believe were their two highest paid players, and they're still awaiting on a suspension that is definitely going to be coming down once
Right.
the commissioner determines what extent their cheating actually went.
Right. So,
Which-
and I think that kind of not solidifies, anything can happen, but with the Yankees finally going starting pitching and getting Garrett Cole,
Whew, man.
and if Severino comes back healthy,
Yeah.
Paxton, who's a very good pitcher, he just had surgery. I think he's out 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, that's not good.
But if with Tanaka still there,
Still got Chapman as your closer.
yeah, it's we have Garrett Cole, Severino, Paxton, Tanaka, J.A. Happ.
That was the thing that we talked about the Yankees not being strong at was because you
Starting
have a very
pitching.
good bullpen,
Oh, the bullpen's fantastic.
but your starting pitching wasn't there because your Severino, who is your ace right now, or not now, but was last year, was injured most of the year, and then you had CC Sabathia, who was one of the greatest pitchers ever. But
Severino, he was our ace, and then he got it was our young gun that got that was very good, that got the domestic abuse allegations. Yeah, he was very good young gun. But yeah, he what was his damn name? I forgot it off the top of my head. I'll figure it out in a second because I'm looking at stats.
Yankee fan, huh?
Domingo Jermaine.
Oh, yep, I remember him.
Yeah, he went 18-4. He was fantastic young pitcher. But yeah, he had domestic abuse allegations in another country, in the Dominican Republic, and they suspended him for the whole postseason.
Yeah, I remember that.
But he, if he could come, so he's going. It's down. He's suspended for the first 63 games.
That's fine because you're in the AL East, which is going to be trash.
Right. So I mean,
Except for you guys, you're going to be fine.
So if you look at we have Garrett Cole, Severino when Jermaine comes back, and you have Tanaka and J. Happ and Paxton. Starting pitching is going to be very solid.
It's even if it's already better than it was last year, and your bats are coming back.
Right, and the bullpen's coming back.
Yeah, and the only bat you lost was Didi Gregorius.
Right, and I mean, don't get me wrong, Didi was great, but I mean, we have Gleiber.
Yeah, he was injured most of last year. Gary Sanchez was injured a lot last year.
Well, and Gio Urshela was hurt. Like we had a lot of our injuries last year were stupid.
Yeah,
It was idiotic.
yeah, but you guys just did you win 100 games?
Yeah, we won 103.
It's ridiculous. With the amount of injuries you guys had last year, and you still won 103 games.
Right.
Insane.
Yeah. So it's gonna be very interesting. With our pitching, our bullpen, offense is obviously going to be loaded. I'm gonna be very interested what they're going to do with left field. Because
and it's not like you guys don't have outfielders.
right, and the one I'm going to be watching is Clint Frazier.
Yeah.
He's got him from you guys. Very well. He played for the first 20 games of the season, 25 games because of all the injuries, and he hit the ball very well.
Yeah.
For a 24-year-old kid, I think he was batting 270, 275 with 12 home runs through 20 games. Okay, yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah, there's a reason he got drafted in the first round.
Right. So I think, if we could put him in the left field, that way we have Brett Gardner, Clint Frazier, Judge, Gio batting DH. That's
You're saying Gio Stanton, right?
Yeah, Gio, Stanton.
Okay.
Sorry, not.
I thought you were talking about Urshela. Yeah.
No, Urshela's he's our third baseman.
By the way, Urshela and Frazier both former Indians.
Yeah, and we got LeMahieu.
Yeah. He's going to be second base, yeah?
Yeah, he's our second baseman.
Now that Didi's gone?
Yeah, and Gleyber, the offense is there.
Gleyber, yeah, it's there. And you're pitching, you got an ace, Garrett Cole is no joke.
Right.
So I have them right now, and, shocker, they are the favorites to win the World Series preseason, and that's who I got in the World Series on the American side.
I got Yankees, Dodgers. I think Mookie Betts and David Price added to the Dodgers that are already fantastic. I think Yanks, Dodgers, which, New York, L.A., what else could you ask for? Two biggest.
Cleveland. I would much rather have Cleveland in there. That's what I would ask for.
The two biggest cities in the country.
Yeah.
I
just hope Cleveland gets a playoff spot, a wild card spot at least.
Yeah, you should.
You say that, but they didn't get one last year.
Well, yeah, because the Twins were a shock. I don't see the Twins doing what they did last year.
I do. I think I still think they can hit, and they added Josh Donaldson at third.
Yeah, I don't know.
I still think I still got them in the number one spot, probably 94 to 95 games, and then Cleveland in at 2. But I'm looking sideways at Chicago because they added some parts.
Yeah, the Twins Vegas has got the over under on the Twins at 92.5 right now.
Yeah, I'd probably put $20 down on an over.
Yeah, they got the
because
they got the Indians at 86.5. Just FYI.
Yeah, that's probably where I'd put them. But for me as well, way too early World Series prediction. I got Yankees, Dodgers.
Yeah, and that's what I got, and I think most people are going to have that too. The Dodgers added a bunch of firepower. Yanks were already 103 win ball team, and just added arguably the best pitcher in baseball, young pitcher in baseball. With Garrett Cole.
And I hope the Houston Astros beat the all-time loss record that the Detroit Tigers set back in 2003.
I heard that. I hope they burn, and I hope that they get
They're
more
not going to.
dings in the back than any team ever.
Did you see real quick? AJ Hinch had an interview.
I saw that. How about that? It's tainted.
I didn't watch the whole thing. But so he basically said it's my fault, but it's not my fault. That's what I read, the bit I heard. So, and here's I do want to bring up real quick.
So quick bit about that, because I did watch it just before. So they brought up the headline obviously did not say what it's supposed to say. They asked him, what do you think when people say that the Houston Astros World Series is tainted? And he said, I can understand why people think that.
So, yes.
Yeah. But then apparently 2 years prior to that, I guess an intern for the Astros, who I have not seen a name yet, he is the one that came up with the elaborate plan of the cheating scandal.
Everything I've heard, it was mostly Alex Cora.
I heard Alex Cora put it into motion. I heard that the intern came.
Well, maybe the intern. Yeah, that when we talked about it before, I said maybe it's Alex Cora's idea, but then he reached out to the organization to try and get it in motion, to get it going. Alex Cora's, it was his idea, but it had to be somebody within that organization that helped them set that up.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes into an organizational problem.
Right. Hey, Jim, we're about to. We're
Yeah.
way late. We got to do it. But I'm going to end it
Yeah.
with this. I'm reading a 7:15 p.m. report out of ESPN. Deal to send Jock Peterson to Angels is now dead and off.
Oh, wow. Well, there you have it. They still got Jock Peterson.
Yeah.
And they added Mookie Betts and David Price.
Right.
There you go.
Okay. So
There you go.
what we were talking about a little bit earlier about that. Forget what we said, guys. We're idiots.
I still got Yankees Dodgers in the World Series.
Yeah, that even adds more to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
We had the Dodgers before, and now you keep the 36 home runs of Jock Peterson. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, let's sign off.
Yes.
You find us. Follow us. Where?
Oh,
Not at Burp. But where can they follow us, Ross?
sorry. At boom_buck on Twitter is our
That's
Twitter
right.
handle.
That's right.
And
You
Jim's
could check us
post
out.
all of our stuff on-
Podcasts. We
Yeah.
post them not everywhere, but a lot of places. Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We also post up a little bit after the fact. We post up on our YouTube channel. We have the Boom and Buck podcast on YouTube. You can listen to it there if you like. Please, if you don't, still go in there. Give us a subscriber. Give us a follow and a like as much as you can.
We want your follow.
Please. Please.
All right, so
But that's it.
next week. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna go over next week, but
we usually talk about that on Wednesdays. We'll figure that out.
We usually talk about that Sunday morning before we talk to you guys. So
Yeah.
we'll
All right.
we'll figure that out. All right, y'all. I'm out.
Bye.